There was a sign posted by a white supremacist in Houston. Now, this particular sign was at the First Ward entrance, and we'll put the picture up. And as you can see, they put out this sign that says, "New HPD law, blacks can't walk or work in this neighborhood." Now, they had a woman by the name of Gloria Perez. She passed by, she saw the sign. She took it upon herself to take that sign down and throw it into the trash. She also made a report to the police. Now, the police said they was going to look into it. No one had called them about it until, Gloria had said something about the sign. Now, we have the white supremacists lurking everywhere. And of course, they will put out a sign like this. And many people on Twitter, they was responding to this particular incident. They were stating, yeah, just look at this blatant-ish. Racists nowadays have no shame in hiding. It said, funny how cops haven't caught anyone. Sick of this. I feel so sorry for our next generations. Another person tweeted, shaking my head. What would the world look like if racist bigots disappeared? What century is this? Racism is ugly. What the world would look like, it would look like a very, very beautiful place, a place that we can have peace and tranquility, and, a place that we can actually have some sort of heaven on earth to a point, because without racism and white supremacy, you don't realize how oppressive it is, how evil it is, and how it has infected everywhere it has put its foot. You have to understand that, whether it's here in the United States, whether it's in Latin countries, because as I'm getting to start to learn more and more about those who are brought to the different areas in the transatlantic slave trade and the attitudes that are in places like Mexico or Brazil or Guyana or many other places outside of those I just named that our African ancestors was taken to, it's the same thing, literally. The same white supremacist ideals. It's all the same. Because you know that we did our Building Bridges conference, and what the mission of that is to join the diaspora together. That's what we're trying to do. So looking into those countries, I'm learning a whole lot of new things of how white supremacy thrives in those countries as well. Now, to the white supremacists that are here, once again, we talked about how they are our perpetual stalkers. Do you see how they would take their time? They will spend money to talk about black folk. They will risk getting caught. They will risk losing a job, losing a business to talk about black folk. And they're so ignorant, HPD or no police department makes laws. Only a city or a state or the federal government makes laws. That's why you knew you're dealing with an ignorant cave white supremacists. It's just that simple. Now, what I would say to black folks, enjoy yourself in First Ward, walk around, work there, continue to do what you're doing. Because, down here in Houston, we don't really have too many issues like that. Yes, you got those evil white supremacists everywhere in this country somewhere, but there are more people that are black and also Hispanic, Asian, etc., that outnumber them in Houston, just completely. The mayor's black, a lot of city council's black. You have a lot of black folks on the school board. I mean, Houston is starting to turn a little bit more and more like Atlanta when you're talking about the black representation. And more black people are moving into Houston every day, coming from these northern states, as we have what they call a reverse migration. Because remember the original Great Migration, black people fled a lot of persecution with the white supremacist terrorism in a lot of those southern states. Many of us are coming back, and that's why I tell black folks, get involved in every area of the city. Get involved in becoming judges, becoming, either the mayor, city council, be on the school board. To get involved with everything you can politically. Run for Congress, run for Senate. Sheila Jackson Lee and Al Green need to go. They're too old school. They're too corrupted. They so-called for the Congressional Black Caucus, so they don't fight for anything for black folk. I don't have nothing personal against Al Green and Sheila Jackson Lee. I don't know them to say they did me anything personal, but I'm looking at for the group, how you have a Congressional Black Caucus, but you don't fight for black issues. But these racists and white supremacists, You know, they're going to continue to do more things like this, put out signs, and they'll be more violent because their time is up. Their time is completely up. If you want to understand how their time is up, go to the World Bank and look at the birth rates. Just look at it. Study the birth rates of every European nation. You'll see as they see their white supremacy slipping. Because yes, it's slipping out their hands. And Donald Trump can't save them or stop that, no matter what he do, no matter how crazy he is. The thing is, everyone had their time in the spectrum of the world, and their time is coming to a close. So instead of them just dealing like every other group and ride off into the sunset, they're going to continue to be violent. They're going to do more and more things like this that we see. So this is why I try to warn black folks is that you need to quickly unify. We need to quickly, take care of ourselves and the issues in our community, because you can't depend on them for too much longer because they can't even fix their own issues. And these white supremacists, they're going to allow them to run amok in society. It don't matter if they do things to other white folks, because reeling them in is like reeling in some of their family members. And they just, from what I see, they just cannot do that. They don't want to do that. Unless they really do something crazy like a Charlottesville, then that's when they want to act. And then they're slow to act then, because when Charlottesville was going on, you remember the police were just standing around not doing crap, letting them just fight and tear up the place. But let it be black folks, they won't even get that far at all. But, y'all can continue to make your signs. You can put it up, and that's fine. We're going to do what we want to do. We're going to be in Houston. You're going to keep stalking us. You're going to keep following us on social media. Remember, we're relevant as black people. We're relevant to you. See, no one is putting out signs against you. You know that? Because you're not relevant enough for us to go to waste our money and time to stencil some signs. We don't do that because you ain't worth crap. I'm talking about the white supremacists. You notice how we don't follow you everywhere, and we don't do that with you. Just the mere sight of you, a lot of times, whether you realize this or not, brings condemnation upon the white supremacists. Because every time they look at you, they got to deal with the guilt of what they done to you and your ancestors, and how this system is still slighted against you. That's why they get so angry when they see you and have a hatred for you without a cause, because of their sickness and evil. But I don't think this particular white supremacist is going to get caught, not whatsoever. But hey, we want to make us always be on alert here in Houston. Keep your eyes on the swivel. These white supremacists will always look for an opportunity if we keep our guard down. But leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about this particular story with this sign. Just remember, black folks, every time they do something like this, we have to laugh at it. Realize how special you are. Realize that you are extremely relevant, because they will waste their money and their time to talk about you.